I'm often perplexed about the state of arahantship. I mean, I guess it's a level of awareness or a level of letting go that just seems so distant. I mean, it's not an attachment to any state, any mental state, any emotion, to your own body, to your friends and relatives. Whatever happens, an arahant is unfazed, unshaken. And on the one hand, where that seems very attractive, it also can be scary for some people because we, have some kind of family obligation. We should care about our friends, our family. It's what we're told to do, but it seems to be innate to be completely unfazed by the passing away of your mother or your father, a grandparent. Hey, what's wrong with you? Like, people would be totally shocked by that. At the same time, it's what the path requires of us, or it's the final state of the path. And ultimately, it's the most peaceful part of the path. On the one hand, we can be friendly and care about people. The Buddha often encourages, in fact, it's the most encouraged Brahmavihara, which is loving kindness. To be friendly and loving and interested in the well-being of, well, not just ourselves, but anybody that we come in contact with, whether it be a human that we've known for 20, 30, 40 years to a human that we've just met randomly. What to say of the many other kinds of creatures that we see on a day-to-day basis, ants, monkeys. How do you have loving kindness for a monkey who bites you in the butt, who bites you on the shoulder? But at the same time, having that distance from all beings, not getting emotionally involved and attached such that with the absence of those beings or the absence of our favorite car or toy or our favorite TV show or whatever that we find distance from, separation from, that it will cause us disquiet, anger, turmoil. And I really think that's why the path, the Dhamma, is defined as a very subtle thing. It's a very subtle and nuanced teaching and state where there can be both. You can be a caring person, but you can also be a dispassionate person. Or it's almost like you know the extent to which you can be loving and kind. But you're never appropriating and taking things as mine, as myself, as what I am, as what I control, as what belongs to me. It's interesting because if you look out into the world now, and not just now, but over the course of human history, we can see the flaw in taking things as a self. I mean, for thousands of years, countries, groups of people, ideologies have been fighting over the little area which we call Israel. And, not to say one side is wrong or the other side is right, but there's a clip by some woman. She did a TED Talk and she made an animation about that patch of land, and the song that was behind it is called "This Land Is My Land," and one group is fighting another group, killing for thousands of years. Unfortunately, not one of those groups made the decision to say, hey, maybe this land is not my land. Maybe this whole conflict is not worth it. How about I let go of this land? And the same struggle that we see there, we also see in our own lives on a day-to-day basis. Even on a monastic side, everybody wants SBS to be in a certain way. So we have our just about a monthly Sangha meeting. And that's when you really get to see how well you've progressed in the past month, because all of the defilements will come up. Everybody will have their views, and there'll be almost ideological conflict. Because everybody wants a certain outcome, things to go into a certain way. And the world has other plans for that. And so really it just brings me to contemplate and think about and want to cultivate more just this quality of dispassion. The idea of dispassion, I think of like some hot coals, some flames, some burning embers, and all you want to do is just cool it down. You just sprinkle as much water onto it as you can just to kind of dampen down the flame, because if you're not careful, that flame is just going to grow and spread. And you might think to yourself, oh, I'm just angry about this one person or this one situation. But the asavas will recalibrate. You could find yourself in a completely different situation, surrounded by different people, or different food, or different climate, and still the same frustrations will re-arise. This is, every monk will experience this. I'm just done with this community, or I'm living at Nanachat, you waking up at 3 a.m. It's the 3 a.m. thing, or it's the ajahn, or it's the food here. Sticky rice is not good for my digestion. But then you find yourself in another community, and then you're finding, actually, that they don't have sticky rice, the climate's nice, but something else, this one person, he's causing all my trouble. The asavas will recalibrate themselves, because their purpose, their function, the function of greed is to be greedy. The function of hatred is to be hateful. And delusion is all over the place. And it's going to find something to be greedy, hateful, or deluded about. So the trick is to cut it off at the source. It doesn't matter what the conditions are like. The asavas must be seen, and the cause which leads to their furtherance must be stopped. And the fuel needs to be removed. And I suppose that is the most difficult part about this path, because many generations of the human organism has so much momentum and fuel, our habits have so much momentum. To bring that to an end, to bring it to where the state of arahantship, the state of cutting off of the unskillful qualities, it's quite a feat. It's superhuman. They call it superhuman for a reason. And so I guess to round this off, maybe we can just sit for a couple of minutes here and just really bring our minds into that quality of dispassion. What part of our lives do we see are still fueled or excited or agitated? Can we see in ourselves what needs to be let go of? What is it that makes us greedy and angry? And most importantly, how can we cool down our unwholesome states? How can we be more dispassionate about those things in the world which want to pull us? How can we let go? I hope that we all can get there one day or at one moment. I hope that our path, our spiritual path, eventually leads us to the complete destruction of suffering. And I hope that our dedication to the Dhamma, our dedication to wholesome qualities, gives the beings in this world an example, that it gives them an opportunity, that it gives our departed loved ones and relatives and all beings who need our example, who will be uplifted by our example. Let us all invite them to rejoice. Idang me nyatinang hotu sukhita hontu nyatayo. Idang no nyatinang hotu sukhita hontu nyatayo. Idang wo nyati hot Sukita hontu nyatayo ettavata cha amhehi sampadang punya sampadang sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. And lastly, let us make an aspiration for Nibbana. Please repeat after me. Idang me punyang asawakaya vahang hotu. Idang me punyang nibbanasa pachayo hotu.